I'd like to take stock, now that Kamala Harris is coming up to speak at the Democratic National Convention, of the three-step process of the left coping with the stunning revelation, first reported by me, that she is descended from one of the largest slave owners in Jamaica, Hamilton Brown, a man who had 5 plantations and over 200 slaves. So the first stage was leftist denial. It's not true. And since they knew they couldn't quite say it's not true, one of their fact-checking sites, Snopes, went with unproven. Even though I produced, and they have ample opportunity to review, a full genealogy that shows that it is true. The evidence for this is not merely based upon Kamala's dad, Donald Harris, a credible enough source, but actual genealogies that have been ferreted out from the British Library showing the actual lineage and showing the number of slaves. I actually know the names of the 200 slaves that Hamilton Brown owned in Jamaica. Therefore, we go to stage 2, and this I call the yes but stage. Nikole Hannah-Jones, the journalist, so-called, who has been spearheading the 1619 Project, triumphantly says, well, Dinesh, we all know how this happened. It's rape on the plantation. The problem is that, and this is fairly typical, Nikole Hannah-Jones was too lazy to actually look at the genealogy, read Donald Harris's original article, because Kamala's lineage has nothing to do with rape on the plantation. She's descended from a free woman of color who married the descendant of the slave owner. And this happened, by the way, after slavery was abolished in Jamaica. So it is manifestly true that this has nothing to do with shenanigans on the plantation. And yet, to this date, Nikole Hannah-Jones has not taken it back, not apologized. This is just a kind of leftist obstinacy. Even though it's false, it's true because I say it's true, and I'm not going to back down no matter what. And then we turn to the third and final stage, and therefore what? There's a group of people who kind of know they can't deny it, they can't yes but it, and so it's sort of like, tell us what this means. Why should we care? So what? What does Kamala Harris have to do with what her ancestors did? How does this matter? How does something that happened 150 years ago live on in the present? Well, think about it. If all that's true, why should whites who are descended from slavery have to apologize for white privilege? If slavery has no impact on the present, if people don't share any responsibility or blame for their ancestors, if they are not the present beneficiaries of past exploitation, why are we even talking about reparations? The left has been rampaging around the country, pulling down George Washington's statue because, the guy was a slave owner. And yet they are on the verge of elevating to 1 inch from the presidency a woman who is a direct descendant of one of the largest slave owners in Jamaica who operated 5 plantations with 200 slaves. Can anybody say irony?